Nityanandeshwara Sadashivasamarambam Nityanandeshwari Adishakti Madhyamam Asmadacharya Parayantam Vande Guru Paramparam. I welcome all of you with my love and respects. I welcome all the devotees, disciples, Sarvanyapita Yajamans, Nitya Satsangis, Sri Mahans, Mahans, Tanedar Kotari, everyone, visitors, viewers, everyone sitting with us through Nityananda TV, Facebook Live, hundreds of Adheenam channel, YouTube Live, Twitter Live, and two-way video conferencing, having Nayana Diksha. Cities sitting with us, long list. So I welcome all of you with my love and respects. I'll continue on Adheenam Chalo series. I'll expand on some more basic principles I was explaining in last few satsangs. Integrity, only when it is converted into responsibility of enriching, is kept alive and taken to the next level. If you are integrated to morning sleep, only if you teach everyone, please sleep till 10 o'clock, you will be able to maintain your integrity. And you create a sleepers club. And you encourage people to take either legal drug or illegal drug and sleep whole day, morning, day, night, whatever, whenever. You don't have the work of eating, you can continue to be sleeping. Only if you make a theology out of constantly being bored, tired and chronic fatigue, and make it as a philosophy, from theology evolves philosophy, from philosophy evolves religion. If you make that as a sleeping religion, only then you can continue to be integrated to it. Otherwise, somebody may suddenly come and tell you, hey, morning doing yoga is good for your health. And you may change your attitude. And you may give up on the great religion on which you built your whole life. Morning sleep. What will happen? Understand, anything to which you are integrated, only if you take the responsibility to enrich, it continues to exist, it continues to be alive. It takes you to the next level. Love. If you are integrated to the principle of love, experience of love, continue to enrich everyone. Take the responsibility to enrich everyone with that experience of love. You will attract more love. You will form that as fundamental experience of your existence. Anything, when you are integrated to it and take the responsibility to enrich, it expands and takes you to the next level. Love brings more love. Same way money. if you are integrated to the concept of money and you decide to enrich everyone, take the responsibility to enrich everyone with the concept of money, understand? I am revealing one of the important secret. You are given the concept of money, not money itself. You are given the concept of money, not money itself. You are constantly given the greed. If you have money, you can do this, you can do that, you can do this, you can have this. All that, finally, all the money which you can make in every possible way, good, bad, right, wrong, does that money get all the things you have been promised which you will get out of that money? No. Just see in your real life. The system is such, you are given only concept of money, not money itself. You are given concept of wealth, not wealth itself. Because the things you need, things you have been promised, to get that the money required, you need to work for 6-7 births. Unfortunately, in the West, you have been taught you have only one birth. And at least if you are from the East, where these rebirth communities understand, if you cognize from the young age rebirth is possible, it is possible for you. Because when you leave the body, your cognition is very important to choose the doors opening in front of you. For example, if you are completely allergic to Hinduism, even if there is a huge Hindu temple in front of you, while you are traveling, driving or walking, and the doors are open, you will never enter into it because you are allergic to it. Same way, after death, all the possibilities will be open in front of you. Rebirth, just getting frozen in the fear and becoming a stone. Enlightenment, all the doors will be open in front of you. Which door you feel comfortably you will be able to live. Which door you think you will be able to handle comfortably, you enter into that. If you never believed from the birth that rebirth is possible, your inner space will never be prepared. So even though the door is open, you will not enter into it. You will not even think it exists. I tell you, sometime which you don't believe, like, you don't even cognize, forget about entering, you don't even cognize that exists. I have seen some people never cognize some buildings exist. No, it really happened in my own life. Good or bad, right or wrong, I never entered into the cinema theaters. Only once my pre-monastic relatives, they own a theater, so they dragged me into the theater. Of course, in few minutes I ran away and came out. Somehow that never gave me the feeling of entertainment. Never entered. The route in which I am going to the school and coming back to the home had a cinema theater. 10 years after that, when somebody told me about the cinema theater, please understand, 10 years after that, 10 years of going in that same route and coming, when somebody was speaking to me, I really could not cognize that building exists in that very road. such vast big building with huge entrance. I was shocked. Am I blind? Or am I lying? Am I doing something wrong? I can't imagine, because every small Ganesha in the street, outside home, I know the count in that road. Not that I noticed and did not cognize. First time I am even cognizing that building exists in that road. Understand? When I tell this, how many of you are able to click with some of your experiences in your life this? Yes? Same thing. If you are taught only one birth, no rebirth, when you leave the body and all the doors are open, you will not even cognize. Feel blessed if you are taught from the beginning, you have multiple births, you are rich. Understand? It is not that how many buildings are available matters, it is your ability to access matters. It is not that whether multiple births are available or one birth, only one birth and death. It is your ability to access. Understand? If you are a Hindu and you are taught from the beginning, you have multiple births, and constantly your inner space is cognizing that and functioning. Be very clear, you are rich. Listen, biggest wealth is time. What is biggest wealth? Time. Whatever you want to achieve in the planet Earth, whether you want to have $1 trillion, $zillion, or the political power, or anything, end of the day, time is the biggest wealth through which you can master, achieve anything you want. Time is available only if you are a Hindu. It is not that non-Hindus don't have access to the truth of birth and death. Unfortunately, because they are not prepared consciously, they do not even cognize the door. See, after death, you will go through this whole different planes. For example, when I used to travel in the train, in those days there was no Google map, so I'll keep the map, ordinary map, and see from where to where I am going, what rivers are coming, what temples are coming. So I'll keep myself awake to catch the glimpse of the temple tower or that river. Same way, after death, your soul will go through the journey of different planes to decide what to do. Only if you know through the zones and planes you are going to go through, you will keep yourself awake and alive. If you don't even know through which road, which way you are going to go, you will fall asleep. If you don't know multiple births and possibility exists, after death, when you are taken for a tour, when your consciousness goes for experiencing to choose, when the tour is given, you will just freeze in depression, fear, anxiety, and collapse just into the unknown space. You will not even open your eyes and see. You will not even open your eyes and see. Listen. Being educated, taught about the 11 dimensions of universe, 25 states of consciousness, even intellectually, when you are having few minutes with yourself, either when you are cleaning your teeth after food, or lying in the bed and not feeling like sleeping, or just loitering around, or you are taking shower. In all those moments when you are within you, if these cognitions continue to exist in you and you are grinding about this multiple births and deaths possibility, multiple dimensions of the universe possibility, understand all this is amazing preparation. When those doors open, you know how to cognize the door, and you know what is the principle, rules and regulations you need to play if you enter into the door. I never had interest to enter into theatre, so I never bothered about where to get the ticket, how to go and sit, what will be available where. Not only that, the extreme step, did not even look at that building, cognize that building exists. Understand? That is why I am saying, one of the biggest droha done to humanity is this one birth concept is being spread. All doors are shut if you believe in one birth. Actually, your soul will be taken for a tour when you leave the body, for you to choose the next journey, the next part of the journey. So you will feel everything is too new. You were not even intellectually introduced. You were not allowed to see the trial. You have not been given any introduction. You don't know where you are going. You have not even seen, forget about photograph, even a portrait. And you will be just sitting and waiting to catch a glimpse of where is that hell and heaven, which I was taught in my book. And my book has told me that no rebirth, no birth. Only the two has been taught, hell and heaven. And as far as whatever I cognize myself, I am sure it is going to be only hell. And let me find out where it is. Other than the two door, you will not even see anything. I tell you, just for giving one small grain as a dana, you can reach heaven and be there forever. During all the danas, just you did not give once little glass of water for somebody, just for that one mistake you can reach hell and be there forever. Which one you choose to cherish continuously in you, that is going to decide where you are going to enter. If you decide, thousands of good things and bad things what I know, I have done to me, but what Sadashiva knows as the best thing, one thing, initiation, that he has done to me, will that one be higher, or my 1,000 good or bad will be higher? Yes, as a child you have a piggy bank, you collect 2,000 coin, and in that 25 coins have been stolen by somebody. In the 2,000 coin, some 200 coin you stole from your brother. Yes, all this goes on. End of the day, what is the net balance you have? And Sadashiva just gives one blank check, $1 billion, take it. With all your piggy bank game, what you may have remaining will be 249 rupee. Earned 2000, stolen 1800, I stole 240. All the accounts put together, it is only 3-4 digit game. And Sadashiva straight writes $1 billion check, keep it, next, what do you want? Understand, if you are cognizing your piggy bank game as your life, you will feel comfortable with that only after death also. If you are enjoying and celebrating, கண்டத்து மாலை காட்டி காலனுக்கு சவால் விடுவோன் கண்டங்காத்திட காலனை அழிப்பேன். நீதான் எவனா பார்த்துட்டல, தெரியல, ரெண்டாவது தடவை தான் வேணுமா? தூக்கிட்டு போயிருவியா? பார்க்கலாமா? வாடா பார்க்கலாம், என்ன பண்ற பார்க்கலாம், வாடா. Understand, what you cherish when you are all by yourself matters. That is why do not learn the ideas of one birth. If they intellectually convince you, that is the worst crime done to you. End of the day, what you cherish throughout your life, you are going to be comfortable with it after you leave the body. If you cherish the truths of multiple life possibilities, Kailasa, you will be comfortable with those truths, and you know to choose those doors. You know how to behave in those spaces. The moment you know the doors of Kailas, hey, right, you sana, எங்கடா பூர்ணகம் எங்கடா? தோ வந்துட்டு சாமி, அகத்தியர் கொஞ்சம் குள்ளமா இருந்தாலும் ஓடியாறதுக்கு டைம் ஆயிருச்சு. Then you see Agastya, no, you don't have to rush so fast. You are welcoming, that's enough. You are allowing me inside, that's enough. You know how to behave because you have been introduced about all of them. Understand, the concepts you intellectually understand and cherish matters while you are in the body. Nothing is superstitious. Nothing is superstitious in Hindu tradition, in Sanatana Hindu Dharma. Poor are not those who don't have few pennies in this world. Poor are those who don't have understanding about the universe. I have seen in Indian small towns, if somebody has passport and they know how to travel, the fellow will behave big. Hey, Dubai, Dubai. நான் யார் தெரியுமா? துபாயிலேருந்து பேசுகிறேன். Fool! Just because you have exposure to few zones, few mandalas, few countries, you think you are big. We Hindus are introduced to the few dimensions. Understand, immediately do not get into the self-doubt. I only know intellectually and read, I have not experienced. Don't worry. Even if you have read intellectually and understood or internalized, that itself is a big, because when you go there, you will recognize it. You will recognize it. I will solve even this problem of I only read intellectually, not experienced in this Paramashivoham. If you are not even intellectually introduced, life is denied for you. Life is denied for you. Understand, the so-called atheists and rationalists are the most poor fellows I have seen on the planet Earth, because their whole game is piggy bank. 2,000 rupees I stole, 700 rupees I earned, somebody stole 1,800 rupees from me, and whole thing boils down to just 4-digit game. Your whole logic, and listen very carefully, your whole logic is 9-digit game, that's all. Understand, when I say 9-digit game, you cannot make a cohesive, coherent, continuous statement more than 9 times. Afterwards, your logic will not function. Make any statement building upon another, maximum 9 only you will be able to make. That is why the digit 9. Then you will be broken. You will be back either to 5 or 6 or 1 or 2 or somewhere. Listen carefully what I am talking. Cohesively furthering your understanding about everything is Vidya. From unknown, listen very carefully, from unknown, if the energy moves to known, it is initiation. From the known, if you move to unknown, it is called Vidya. From the unknown, if the energy moves to the known, initiation. From known, if you move to unknown, it is Vidya, knowledge. Whatever you know logically, from that moving and knowing what you do not know is knowledge. In this, step by step, you can make only 9 statements cohesively, coherently. After that, your head will become hot. After that, you will not be able to proceed further. You will get back either to the logic of the 4th or 5th or 3rd or 1st or 8th or 7th. It will be broken, then again you have to start. That is the way human logic works. Human logic is too small component of your existence. It is like in the college, I have seen this, seniors will rag the juniors. They will say, hey, which department you are? Civil engineer, sir. You have to ask, you have to address them as sir. Sir, civil engineer, sir. You know surveying and measurement? Now only I am studying, sir. Bring the matchstick. Take this and measure this whole room. I've seen boys will do. With matchstick you have to measure the whole room. What will happen? That is the same stupidity these rationalists and atheists are doing. With this small logic, they are trying to measure the whole universe. And the senior atheist is ragging the junior atheist. Senior rationalist is ragging the junior rationalist. Yes, with matchstick you can measure the universe. When? When you have become like a matchstick and buried. Understand. Matchstick is not the tool to measure the planet Earth. Logic is not the tool to measure the life. Life is existence. Experience is the unit, tool to measure the life, not logic. Not logic. You cannot say, "Sir, give me 2-liter cloth." No. You can ask, "Give me 2-liter water. Give me 2-liter petrol." I never cognized in my lifetime water will be sold. I have seen humanity where drinking water was not sold. It was a resource available for all human beings. Now I am not able to utter that word. Even the middle class towns of India, water is not a common resource. Drinking water is not a common resource for human beings. Oh God, we are claiming we are becoming rich. We are claiming we are becoming developed. I have seen Thiruvannamalai, not only water, even food was the natural resource. I have seen in Thiruvannamalai comfortably, you don't need to work for the sake of your survival. Food, clothes, staying is assured for any person who is in Thiruvannamalai. I have seen that society. Somewhere in the city, constantly all these will be showered and shared. I can never imagine you are supposed to work for survival. And is this we call growth? You see, I don't encourage laziness. I am dead against laziness and boredom and tiredness and sleeping. I started the satsang with that very thought current. I don't encourage that. But I am dead against making somebody work for their survival. That is the hellish way of making somebody work. Maybe that is little better than the utter laziness and tiredness, but that is not the way to exist. Maybe an individual can be treated like that. How few criminals, hardcore criminals are put in prison. But a society's functional logic cannot be that. Unfortunately, the society's functional logic is becoming, you have to work even for your survival. I tell you. In any society, the functional logic is you have to work for your survival. Violence and stealing will be unavoidable. Because the fundamental logic of the society cannot be you have to work for your survival. You have to work for your luxury, but not for your survival. They should be taught to break the laziness. They should be constantly drilled to break the boredom pattern. But survival cannot be the instinct or the idea with which you push the people to work. Understand? If somebody is made to feel, if the whole society functions with that logic, that you have to work for your survival, stealing and violence will be unavoidable. At least I want in all our Sangha, I am making it very clear. In our Sangha, you have to work for your survival will not be a functional logic of the Sangha. Understand, the survival needs should be available anybody who decides to live in our campus. I am not encouraging laziness or tiredness or boredom pattern. That should be handled as a spiritual instruction, spiritual training. Yes, constantly we have to break the tiredness, we have to break the boredom, we have to break this chronic fatigue attitude, we have to break that withdrawal pattern through the spiritual strength. But you can't keep, you have to work for surviving as the fundamental logic. That cannot be the fundamental logic of the whole Sangha moving. No. That is himsa. That is not ahimsa. The fundamental logic is existence provides everything as a natural resource for all of us, anything needed for survival. Understand? Anything needed for our survival, existence provides. For your luxury, you need to work. For your luxury, you need to work. That's different. For your luxury, you need to take the responsibility. But the moment you decide to breathe, anything required to keep you alive is provided by the existence. That is the logic with which existence is functioning. The fundamental existence logic is anything needed for survival is provided without any condition. If the air, prana is needed for your breathing, if the food is needed for your rejuvenation, if the water is needed for your hydration, all the fundamental survival things. If shelter is needed to keep you warm, if the clothes are needed to keep you protected from the weather changes, rutu changes, all that is naturally available for everyone. This is the fundamental logic with which existence is functioning. So, I give this as my command to the Nithyananda Sangha. This should be the fundamental logic with which Sangha should function. People should not be allowed to fall into tiredness, boredom, life negative, chronic fatigue patterns through the spiritual understanding and inspiration and completion and all the spiritual methods. But nobody should be threatened for their survival needs. I know the society is going so fast. I will not be surprised if the air is going to be rationed. Pure air will be rationed. Only if you are going to work for some corporate companies, it will be available for you. I will not be surprised if this happens in the next few decades or even few years. Who knows? The speed with which they are polluting the air. I have a strong doubt. See, the speed with which water pollution happened in last 30 years, unnatural speed. Unnatural speed. Almost like half of the country's resources have been put only for pollution and destruction. It is not that by polluting the rivers, you create a products which are being used, you pollute the rivers and create the tire and plastic and all that, which is again used to pollute the ocean. Listen. Introduction to the multi-dimensions of the universe. Initiation into the energies to have access to it. And ability to handle the rules and regulations is the biggest wealth you can acquire while you are in the planet Earth, and best place to acquire that wealth is Adheenam. Best place to acquire all this wealth is at the feet of Sadashiva in Kailasa. When I uttered the word Adheenam, I mean the space where all these are taught. If that space stays on a place, that place is called Adheenam. The place where Anadi operates is Adheenam. Where Anadi Saiva stays and operates and makes Adi Saivas is Adheenam. Understand? It is so unfortunate the modern day Hindu youth takes all the great truths of the Hinduism for granted. What is there? Multiple birth? Yes, my grandmother used to tell, if I do good, I'll take birth next Janma properly. If I do bad, I'll come back and suffer. That is why I killed that cat in my house. I think this cat has killed me in last Janma. Now I am taking revenge and completing the karma of the cat. Now one fellow was given the logic. Yes, what you told is right. If I kill this fellow, I'll come back and he will kill me. So I think he killed me last time. That is why I am feeling like killing him this time. The karma, reincarnation, all these theories, even if you are introduced, feel blessed. You know the methods of passport, visa and traveling to multi-dimensions of the universe. These fools are celebrating and proud and egoistic about the bunch of the passport. Be proud of the bunch of the travel documents for the universe, Kantamala and Atmalinga, Yangyobhavita. Be proud about all this. Bunch of passports is a travel document for different countries. All this Tirumulavarka Vedam is the travel document for multiple dimensions of the universe. modern day Hindu youth takes it for granted all these great principles and they do not understand. Destruction of the airports does not mean the other countries do not exist. Suddenly some problem, airports got destroyed and the transportation to other countries stopped, so you start believing the other countries don't exist. Same way, suddenly change in human conscious level and the travel to other dimensions as reduced. I don't want to say stopped, reduced. So you just want to declare the other dimensions don't exist. எல்லாமே மனுஷங்களே பார்த்தீங்கன்னா நாங்கள் எதுக்குடா இருக்கிறோம்? Multiple dimensions of the universe exist. Even intellectual introduction to it is great. You will not be culturally shocked when you are going through those zones and spaces. Actually, I tell you, this whole Shaivite Tirumulavarka Vedam is precisely followed in Kailasa. Why you are asked to wear all that here, getting comfortable. So when you go there, you will not have a cultural shock. You don't have to change from jeans to Yogavalladu. Understand? It is to give a smooth transition. All the principles from there are brought and introduced and you are practicing. You won't even feel cultural shock. You will only feel, hi, yesterday I came, how are you? From where? No, zone 3, the Buloka Kailasa, Biddi. From there, it will only be the zonal transfer. Now zone 11. What's the food you eat here? Same, no problem, same menu only. Come on, go to the kitchen. Maybe you were earlier Annadatta who was there. Before you, that batch Annadatta is only sitting here now as Annadatta. You will just meet your seniors there, that's all. Few years senior or few yugas senior, that's all. Your seniors. There will not be any cultural shock. Understand? Even this Tirumulavarka Vedam, Shivavarka Vedam is not something that we are trying to be different. We are trying to prepare to the space where we are going to be permanently residing, eternally, to have a smooth transition without having cultural shock, without having to suffer anything, without having to go through any transition. And you will not feel homesick. Understand? In the Buloka, cunningness is the best strategy to be successful, whether you want that wealth or power or whatever. In the Kailasa, integrity is the best strategy. Practice integrity so you will not have cultural shock when you go there. Practice integrity, you will not have a cultural shock when the transition happens. Whether internal or external practices provided to you in Adheenam are the direct manual followed in Kailasa. It is just preparation for beautiful transition into eternal space. understand life in the planet Earth itself is for only this purpose. Contemplate on this. Wealthy are those who have enough time for them. Wealthy are those who have enough time for them, is the essence of today's satsang. Contemplate on this. Poor are those who try to measure life with the logic, trying to measure planet Earth with matchstick. With this, I bless you all. Let's all radiate with integrity, authenticity, responsibility, enriching, causing, living Shuddhatvaita Saivam, Sadashivoham, the eternal bliss, Nithyananda. Thank you. Be blissful.